Hey guys, just going to give a couple minutes for those who are available to log in. Hope everyone had a great Christmas and an awesome New Year's Eve. Testing, testing. Yep, my mic's working. Um, I'm going to start in like 1 minute, and even if no one is live on the stream, it's still going to go up in case anyone wants to check on this later tonight for tomorrow's market. I'm going to start with NQ. In fact, NQ is the only indice that I'm going to do today. And if you can follow along with NQ, then when it comes to ES, it's good practice to kind of do ES on your own. So here we are on the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to go up to the 4 hour time frame just to get a look at where we've been over the past month since around beginning of December. We were in a buy market. This was the buy market side of the curve, and we came up into this area and we kept sort of hitting the ceiling here. Then from starting about halfway through December 11th, price started moving down, and this is sell side of the curve. Price hit this 1 hour BISI and then started to move up as we approached Christmas. I guess, I don't know if people call this the Christmas rally or what, but didn't feel like much of a rally, but price was moving up. Now, just before Christmas, I was anticipating, or some of us may have been anticipating, that price may have tried to, take these all-time, or not all-time highs, but take these highs that kept hitting in this blue 4 hour box, this level that I have up here. And I've had this on my chart for at least a month. And price just was showing weakness. It couldn't get up there. So we've seen that price has fallen. And I'm now going to go and take a look at the monthly, the weekly, and the daily so that everyone can understand where I've drawn these levels in from and what I'm looking for, not so much tomorrow, but looking into next week as well. So let's go to the monthly. And again, this is on NQ futures. So I'm going to go to the monthly. And here we have all-time high up here. And we have the monthly open. This was the monthly open for December. And what I have on my chart here is 50% of this wick. So 50% of this wick, we had that on our chart for the past 2 weeks at least. And we can see that in the month of December, price has come just a little bit shy, just a little bit of a mohawk here. So that I am keeping on my chart. For the remainder of the month, I've got a BISI down here and imbalance, but it's still pretty far down here that it's not something I'm concerned about for next week. We've got all-time highs up here. We have the month open for December here, and we have the year open right here. So that's kind of interesting to keep that on the chart and see how 2026 is going to start to set up. Let's now move down to the weekly. And on the weekly, I have a few things on my chart. Now, you guys know when you follow me that I have I have more than two charts open, but I have an hourly chart and then I have a minute chart. I'm actually taking trades on the minute chart, but I need to look at the 1 hour chart or the 4 hour chart just to give me the framework for the higher time frame. So I'm going to show you how I'm able to organize my chart, and it's pretty simple. So here again, we're on the weekly, and we've got our previous month high up here. We've got our all-time high up here. These two candles here, these are wicks, where the top of the wicks are of equal value or equal height. So I've drawn an orange box around this, and I'm calling this the weekly wicks. And that's an area that we have equal highs, and so we can anticipate that there is liquidity. Hey, XMT89, I'm just going over NQ. Happy New Year to you. Just in case you wanted to look at the charts for tomorrow, I'm going to take a look at the charts tomorrow. So anyway, so here we have our weekly wicks. So I put this on my hourly chart. Also, this candle here, this green, I don't know if it's called a hammerhead or whatever, but this green candle here, I've taken the wick and I've applied my Fibonacci to it. And I have drawn quadrants because if price continues to move down, these quadrant areas will be of importance or significance to me. And again, we have the 50% right here. This red line is 50% from the monthly. So let's just go back to the monthly. Here's our 50%. So when we go to the weekly, I have it on the weekly, and here is our 50%. So this is a key level that I'm watching, but more importantly, I'm looking at the quadrants from this candle's wick here. This black down close candle here, this is an order block. I don't pay much attention to order blocks because I don't specifically trade order blocks, but I'm mindful it's on my chart, and if price continues to move down, this will become more important. Okay, so let's go to the daily now. Let me just go back to the weekly for a second. So I want to show you how I organize my chart so that I don't have everything on my hourly or minute chart. This here, the weekly wicks, if you double click on it, you go to visibility and you can check and uncheck where you want to see this, on what time frames you want to see this. I do not want to see this on my minute chart because it's not relevant. I'm looking right here where price is. So I do not want to have this on my minute chart. So I uncheck it. You see, you can check it and uncheck it. So I don't want to see it on the minutes, but I do want to see it on my hourly chart. So I have it checked on the hourly, the day, and the weekly chart. So this is how I keep my charts organized. So let's go down to the daily. Now on the daily, we have a few areas here. Again, here is my quadrants from that long wick from the weekly. So these are my quadrants, and let's just see the quadrants I have on the days and the weeks. And I think when the market opens tomorrow, I'll put it on the hourly as well. This weekly gap here, this is the gap from our weekly. Let's just go back and take a look right here. This gap between this candle and this candle is of significance. So again, we open it up. I want to see it on the daily. I want to see it on the hourly and the minutes because price is close in this vicinity. So this is that weekly gap. We have a BISI here. We have an area of inefficiency, and you can see that price has been moving down through this BISI. This means that this BISI, which was created when price was moving up, price has now moved south of the 50%, south of the consequent encroachment of this BISI. So if price continues down through, this BISI will then become resistance. Okay, so if price could turn around tonight and move back up, we don't know what it's going to do, but at this point, it's moved past the 50% or the consequent encroachment of this BISI. If this BISI does not hold, we could infer from that price may want to continue lower. Okay, so we're using these BISIs and SIBIs and order blocks and breaker blocks to provide a higher time frame story, if you will, of what price wants to do. Oh, Happy New Year to California. I'm so jealous. It's like minus 17 degrees here, at least. At night, it's going down to minus 28 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius. Okay, so this is a very key area on my chart. It was last week as price started to move down through here. Up here, I have, let's go back to the weekly. These are the two wicks that we talked about, and I want to see them on my daily chart. So here it is. And then this mitigation block up here, or potential mitigation block, I've had on my chart for weeks now. It's not relevant for this week because price is down here, right? Open, high, low, close. So you could, if you want, just to keep your chart super, super clean, you could just move these across and not be so worried about them because I'm more interested in what's happening right in this range here. So on our daily also, we want to make sure that we have a 20-day look back, which is IPTA. IC talks about a 20-day, 40-day, and 60-day look back. I use the 20-day because I'm a day trader. If I were a swing trader or a position trader, I would be plotting my 40-day and 60-day. So all we're going to do is on the daily, we're going to count back 20 candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's our 20th candle. Just put an IPTA line on your chart. So what does that really mean? Well, that means that price is going to reprice to levels over the past 20 days. And so if we look at that, really we're looking at this block. I'll just change the color here. That these levels to IPTA over the past 20 days are the most significant, or are certainly significant. Okay, now I'm not going to keep this blue on my chart, but I just want to demonstrate to you guys that we're looking sort of from between these highs to these lows. This is the most relevant that price is going to be referring back to. So I like to have IPTA on my chart, or the look back of 20 days on my chart. Okay, all of these lines, the previous month high, weekly open, monthly open, all of these, previous month low, all of these are an indicator that I use. This is the yearly open. I used to do this myself. I've put these levels on my chart every single day, every single week, every single month for years. But I now use an indicator. I have to pay 20 bucks for it, but it gives me my SMT. It gives me my levels here. It gives me my 90-minute time cycles, and it gives me my 369 if you follow, or if you know anything about the 369 philosophy. So for 20 bucks a month, I've decided that for 2026, I'm just going to make life a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go down to the 4-hour, and now we have a very clear framework of what we're looking for. So I'm going to take this away. Before Christmas, I was kind of anticipating that price may make a run for, you know, this 4-hour level that we've had on the chart for a month, maybe, you know, these previous highs, but price was just showing weakness. So now I'm going to switch this because I have my eye down here. Now here we have, these are the, this is the quadrants from the wick that we discussed on the higher time frame, and I'm just going to keep that on the hourly. If I go to the 5-minute, you'll see that it's gone. I don't need to see it on the 5-minute. And let's go back to the hourly. And again, the way that you do that is you go to visibility and you uncheck the minutes. So you're not going to see that on your minute chart, but I do want to see it on my hour chart and my daily chart. Okay, so on the 4-hour chart, what am I looking for this week? All I'm looking for is price on the higher time frame going to be in a buy program or a sell program. If price on the higher time frame is going into a sell program or is in an established sell program, there's two things that I want to know. What is my point of interest? So my point of interest is, I'm just going to write this down. My point of interest is where am I starting from? So my point of interest, make this a lot bigger for you guys. My point of interest is right here. Here's my point of interest. We're inside, price is inside this BISI. It's showing weakness because it's looking like it wants to come below this BISI. The question then becomes, if the BISI doesn't hold and price is showing weakness and wants to come down, where is price on the higher time frame most likely to be drawn towards? So that means, where is the liquidity resting on the higher time frame? Well, we can look at previous highs, previous lows, session lows. We can look at previous BISIs from the buy side of the curve. We can look at equal lows. So on my chart, I have this BISI here that when price was moving up before Christmas, as I showed you guys, I keep these BISIs on my chart. And as when price turns around and starts to come down, we're going to use these BISIs as areas of draw on liquidity, as well as either support or resistance. So all I'm doing is I'm just pulling my hourly BISIs across, because now this is going to become relevant. This is where price is. We could see price overnight want to drop into the quadrants of that monthly wick that we looked at a few minutes. Also, the 50% down here of the monthly wick is a drawn liquidity. These BISIs down here are I'm simply opening them up from when we were on the buy side of the market. So all I've done is when they're no longer needed, I pull them over. They're still on my chart, but I don't need to see them all over my chart. I just kind of like tuck them away like you would shut a door. But as we are now on the sell side of this curve, so here's the buy side from A to B, and here's our sell side from A to B right now. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to pull these across, because these are areas that IPTA has repriced to, and that the buy side of the market maker model has utilized in moving up on the buy side. So now we're starting the sell side. So these are becoming interesting and relevant to me. I'm not going to pull these ones over yet because they're still too far down, and it could be, a while before we get there. This area down here, we have these 3 equal candles, which all came into this hourly BISI. So this is my area of interest for the higher time frame draw on liquidity. So what that means is, if price continues to move down and utilize these previous BISIs as resistance, then this is right here my draw on my higher time frame draw on liquidity. And what is the significance of that? Well, the significance of that is that every morning when I open up my chart, I will be looking for sells. Okay, I'm not going to be looking for buys. I'm going to be looking for sells. If the higher time frame is in a sell program, I'm looking for sells. Lots of people trade counter trend, but I just find it easier to trade with the trend. So at this point, it looks like we're in a sell program. And on the 4-hour here, we can look at the change in the state of delivery, which is here. This is a change in the state of delivery to the downside. Okay, so once we broke below here, we're in a sell program. Okay, let's go down to the 1 hour. I'm just going to take this change in the state of delivery off. So what do we have now on the 1 hour? So the 1 hour is where I spend the majority of my time. And I start looking for a trade when price comes into an area of interest on the hourly. So this is an area of interest to me because we are at the bottom of this daily BISI. So this is definitely an area of interest for me. And I'm going to keep these, again, this is the Fibonacci retracement of that long wick, and these are the quadrants. So I'm going to keep the quadrants on my hourly chart. If I go down to the 5-minute, I'm not going to keep the quadrants on my 5-minute until I see what happens overnight. I'm going to take a look at Asia and London. If I think that price is still dropping or there's evidence, then I will open this up on the minute chart, because then they become more relevant. And then when I go down to the 5-minute, here are my quadrants on my chart. So this is how I keep my chart super, super nice and clean. I'm only interested in what is happening within 100 or 200 points. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at for the higher time frame for this week. On Sunday, I'm going to just do a refresh, because I think lots of people are probably hungover or whatever from New Year's. So I will do a refresh on Sunday, make sure we're all on the same page. Next week is non-farm payroll. The market is open tomorrow. It's probably going to be a pretty quiet day. I don't think there's any news tomorrow. So we'll do a refresh on Sunday. And yeah, so that's basically it. So with the model that I am using, what I'm looking for overnight is I'm looking for price to pull back into an area of discount, or sorry, into an area of premium. So let's just say, for instance, that tonight Asia opens up. Let's just say this is Asia. Let's just say this is Asia. So let's just say price opens up, jumps up, and trades in Asia here. And then let's say that London opens and price jumps and trades London here. Let's just say hypothetically this is the price action tonight. I have no idea what's going to happen. The market's going to do what it wants to do. So because I've established on the higher time frame that we are in the sell market, okay, the sell side of the market maker model, I am looking for sells. And this is what I want to see. I want to see price move up overnight or in the early morning hours. And I want to see price manipulate. So manipulation, take out this high, something like this, take out this high, and then I would enter a short and then see price move down tomorrow. That's what I'm looking for. So if I'm short, if I have a bias on the higher time frame, the price is moving down, I want to see price move up overnight. Okay, that doesn't mean that I'm going to take longs tomorrow morning. I've established for you guys that it's my personal opinion that we are on the sell side of the market. And so I want to see price manipulate up to continue down. So this is, I think, what confuses a lot of new traders, or traders, who have not studied very long, is they see the market moving up and then they think, oh, the market is moving up, so I'm going to look for a long. And I think this really messes up a lot of people. So when I have a short bias, or when there's evidence on the chart to show me that price is favoring uh, going down, I want to see price move up in the early morning hours. Okay, so I just let price go up. I'm not trading this overnight, and I am going to then look for my smart money reversal starting at 9:45 a.m. when the market opens. So this is how I take my model and then apply it using the knowledge of the higher time frame. So I hope this has been helpful. I know there's only a couple of you. It's New Year's Day. What can we expect? But anyway, at least it'll be on my playlist. So for anyone who wants to take a look tonight and kind of see where my head is at for the upcoming week. Going forward, I will see you guys every Sunday at 2 p.m. Also going forward, at the end of Sunday's analysis, I'm going to hang back for 10 minutes and I'm going to help or answer any questions that anyone has about the strategy and how to apply it. Okay, because especially for newer traders, I think it's difficult to understand. Sometimes you can see where the market is going, but you don't exactly know, like, where am I going to enter? How do I enter? How do I take the strategy and apply it to a higher time frame narrative? So I will be spending 10 or 15 minutes answering any questions, and I don't care what anybody trades, like as long as it's ICT. If you trade opening range gap, if you trade first presented fair value gap, if you trade unicorn, if you trade Venom model, like whatever it is you trade, you still need to take your model and apply it to the higher time frame narrative. And I think that is difficult when you're a newer trader to make that connection, or at least, that was like, once I figured out how to do that, life kind of changed for me. But in the beginning, it's, you have these kind of pieces and you're not sure how to put them all together to actually take a trade that's profitable. Okay, then, everyone. So have an amazing rest of the day. And I will see you guys next Sunday for an analysis. And yeah, so take care. Awesome. Talk to you later. Bye for now.